Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel Philosmos, where everything philosophical is discussed. Now, today I'll be talking about trust and as to how the universe works for you when you begin to trust. Now, throughout our lives, we live in a world that teaches us, consciously or unconsciously, not to trust. I mean, we've all been betrayed in some way, shape, or form. And I do not only mean betrayal by people. I mean, that happens a lot of times. You'll be betrayed by somebody who gives you their word that they will do something for you, and then they don't. And that makes you inevitably not trust that person. And somebody can make a promise that they will deliver something to you and then fail to deliver on that promise and make you not trust them. Our government, our politicians give us promises and give us an illusion and a whole array of things that they're going to do for us. And then as soon as they gain power, they don't do that, which makes us not trust. So this world breeds mistrust. This world breeds a frequency of continuously doubting things. And it doesn't only extend to people, as I said, it extends to life. I mean, you can ask a religious person who prayed really hard for the person that they loved to live when they had a terminal illness like cancer, or they were in a car accident, or something tragic happened to them, and they prayed and tried to trust, or did trust, that everything would be okay with that person and they would be healed and be restored. But then they die. And then that causes you to doubt. So when we have a desire for something, when we expect something to happen, either through a person or through life, and it doesn't happen, then we tend to lose more trust. But I heard a really interesting take that I just want to delve into a little bit, that I heard from Daryl Anker, who channels Bashar. He said that we're always trusting. That trust, in actuality, is a natural state of our being. That we cannot help but trust. It's just what we're choosing to trust in is what determines our state of being thereafter. For example, we trust that our politicians will let us down, right? And then that trust is then verified. So we trust that when we're walking down the street, nothing is going to happen to us. We trust that the food that we eat doesn't contain any poison. We trust that when the day arises tomorrow, that we will wake up. We trust that. We trust when we get into a plane and that the pilot is of sound mind to actually travel and fly us to wherever we need to be. We trust in so many ways. We have to trust in order to live in this reality. However, many of us trust in our doubts. Many of us trust in our fears. Many of us trust in our insecurities. And because we're trusting in those kind of frequencies, in those kind of qualities, then we kind of have a self-fulfilling prophecy, because we're trusting in that to which we believe in. Trust is inevitable. Trust is something that is part of our state of being. You trust that your heart will beat. You trust that your brain will secrete the uh, appropriate chemicals. You trust that your stomach will digest your food. And then when you start lacking trust, then doubt comes in, and then you believe and trust in that doubt. Now, if you ever want to utilize this trust to your advantage, because we're always trusting. So if ever you want to utilize trust to your advantage, what you need to do is look at it from a different angle. You need to trust that the universe and everything within the universe, because everything is an expression of the universe is holographic. So the politicians that we deal with that we don't like are part of the universe. The people that we deal with that make us doubt them are part of the universe. The weather that totally changes and then wreaks havoc and then creates a natural disaster, that's part of the universe. Every single thing that we experience is an extension of the universe. So trusting that whatever unfolds, trusting that whatever happens is of divine order. And if it's of divine order, then it is something that assists us in our spiritual growth and assists us in the story of our life. Because if we trust in the doubt that the universe is working against us, then that will be our experience. That is how we will translate the occurrences of our lives. But if we take a step back and realize that we cannot see the bigger picture, that if life had to unfold the way we desired, the way we expected, then life would not be the way it is. Life would actually be more tragic, because the things that we claim we want, the things that we claim we desire, may not actually be the things that are best for us. Because we tend to believe, that we know what we truly want. The first example that I can think of is an adolescent. An adolescent is always wanting things, always desiring things, and sometimes the things that it desires is not beneficial for it. I was watching my niece and my nephew, as to how they desire certain things. Like, I had a knife one time, and my niece was crying for it. And one time I had scissors, and my nephew was crying for it. And because I knew, I understood something that they didn't, I did not allow them to touch it. I didn't even allow them to get near it. I pushed them away. And even though it created pain, they inevitably started crying and crying, hoping and wishing that through the cries that I would give them that object, the knife or the scissors. But that didn't change anything, because I knew that if I were to give them those objects, that could definitely injure them and cause them even more pain. So take that and extrapolate that into your life, that some things that you desire could actually harm you. So when we see life, or when we see the universe restricting us from certain experiences, or not allowing our expectations to be met, not allowing our desires to be experienced, maybe we need to take a step back and realize that, hey, I am still that adolescent, just slightly more evolved throughout a span of maybe a couple of years, It's not like we live really long. We live like mostly to the age of 80. And that span of time is not really a lot to evolve tremendously, to the point where you understand life on a really, really deep level. I mean, we can understand life profoundly, but given the span of time that we exist, we cannot truly understand life, you know. No matter how long we live, we still cannot. But I believe, like, if we could live longer, we would see deeper truths. But given the amount of time that we have lived, we cannot claim to know life in the way that we would hope. So when we desire things, when we expect things to happen and they do not happen, then maybe we need to take a step back, as I said, and realize that maybe this thing could actually be harmful for me if I had to experience it right now. That maybe life is delaying it for a reason, so that I collect all the experiences. I basically go through the specific circumstances that I need to ensure that when I do have that thing that I desired, when I do have that thing that I expect, that it is not harmful to me. You know, I've been in a lot of relationships, and a lot of them I desired them to work. However, the universe forced me out of those relationships. And looking back, I am so grateful that that happened, because if I stayed in those relationships, then I can almost guarantee I would not be where I am today spiritually. I would be stuck in a negative rut. I would be stuck in a negative spiral, going deeper and deeper and deeper into suffering, because I would not allow myself to let go. So to trust is to let go. To let go of your attachments, to let go of the things that you believe would work out for you, that you believe were good for you, that you believe should have happened or ought to have happened. And trust how life unfolds. Because if we are to take the presupposition that the universe is intelligent, then we must then understand that if life unfolds in a way, even if it unfolds in a way that we do not desire, or that appears to be unfavorable, or appears to be something that is negative, from the bigger picture, it can only be that which serves you. It can only be that which will propel you into higher states of consciousness. But we have to have that trust. We have to have that innate feeling that the universe is always on your side. That the universe is like a parent, a divine parent, looking out for you, ensuring that whatever it is that you need on your journey, you will get. But certain things that you believe you need, you don't really need. But in order to get to that place, you need to be spiritually mature. You need to see with the eyes that go beyond the physical eyes. The physical eyes will present a reality to you right here, right now, that may appear in a certain way. But I say, do not believe your physical eyes all the time. That you need to transcend your physical eyes and see with the inner eye. And the inner eye is the eye of faith, the eye of trust. Not knowing what will happen, but trusting that whatever that happens is for your own benefit. So when you allow yourself to trust, the universe begins to work for you. When you allow things to happen without you attaching your desires and expectations, when you allow life to unfold the way it should, then you realize more and more that things happen for your benefit. And I see this more and more in my personal life, that when I begin to trust, when I begin to allow life to unravel itself the way it should, the way it happens, then I begin to acknowledge the fact that, hey, maybe I'm not really at that point. Not that I'll ever get there, but I can't be at that point where I can see the bigger picture all the time. I am stuck in space and time with a narrowed view of reality. The universe sees all potential, all possibilities. And I'm speaking of the universe as if it's an individual. I'm just speaking right now in terms that we understand, that we can understand. That the universe sees a much larger purview of reality. We only see a narrowed down point of view. And because we only see a narrowed down point of view, we don't see the bigger picture. And because we don't see the bigger picture, then we don't have access to what it is that should happen. We don't have access to what truly we need. We don't have access to some of these things. And because we don't have access to it, we must trust in something higher than ourselves. We must trust in the way life unfolds. And then we begin to see more and more that life actually works in our favor. All the time. Not sometimes, not here and there, all the time. Just trust. Begin to see that life is working for you. That if you got up this morning trusting that you'd get up, considering the fact that all possibilities, your heart could have stopped, your brain could have ceased to work, anything could have happened, but you trusted that you'd get up without even thinking about those extraneous variables. It happened. Can now you not trust that everything will work accordingly? That whatever your dreams are, they will manifest, even if it will not manifest the way that you intended it to, the way you expected it to, the way you desired it to, but it will always unfold and manifest in a way that is beneficial for you. Because the universe loves you. Life loves you. Existence cherishes you. Trust that. And everything will work accordingly. So thank you very much, guys, for listening to this. Please like this video, please share, please subscribe. And to end it off as I always end it off, for those who seek no more, for in the present we find it all. Thank you very much.